Hello, this is Samuel Chilambo here. In anticipation of our next program, Diaspora Magic Talk Show on the platform of Inthemixstyle, media houses, internet and DAB radios, as well as Facebook live videos, I am going to read chapter 4, part of it, from my third book, Machona Awakening, Home in Grey Matter. It's entitled Love in Exile, or Women in Exile. It goes without saying that this is written from a man's perspective. Local women in love with men in exile get less recognition and respect than they deserve. Were I a woman, I would never ever fall in love with an exile man in my own land. Exiles are nothing but a load of trouble. However, my South African mother did fall in love and eventually got hitched to a man in exile from far off northern Rhodesia. Now look what we've got. Americans have got Obama. Children of exile lands, we are everywhere. We rule, we get trampled upon, we are everything. In many cases, our mothers, often the most beautiful of local girls and women, can live all their lives on the fringes of social acceptance and respect. The jealousy I've seen my mother endure everywhere we've been as a family boggles my mind to this day. If you want to tread the softest spot of a man in exile, question his devotion to his mother and siblings. Our exile fathers, well, they are ever so unpredictable. They can stay, they can be here and not here at the same time. They can return to their homelands. They can just vanish as if into thin air. They can die as a result of illness, accident, suicide, witchcraft, or assassination. Men in exile are a load of trouble. Some are rude, arrogant, and pig-headed religious fanatics. Others are outright dumb, good only for their sexuality and nothing more. And there will be those who are so smart and strong and independent they cannot be pinned down. They are survivors, each in their own ways, giving each their own circumstances where they come from. Many can make good fathers. We love and adore them, give and show them lifelong admiration and loyalty. But the local girlfriends, lovers and wives in foreign lands can often fight uphill battles all their lives trying to get under the skins of these strange men in exile. There is a certain enticing charm about foreign men though. Everything about them is ever so very different. The mystery about them is ever so enchanting. The romance of a South African freedom fighting exile. Wow. The heroic strength and just character of Nelson Mandela serving lifetime imprisonment on Robben Island would nevertheless probably have made me want to check out these South African men in my country were I a woman. They must be all strong and tough men, these. What with the atrocities against them that we've read about from the South African anti-apartheid movement? The thrill of wanting to get the feel of what it's like to get laid by a macho freedom fighter trained by Che Guevara's men in Cuba would probably have overwhelmed me, I reckon. Rumor had it that some of these exiles had actually been into and survived really big wars in Vietnam, Angola, and Afghanistan as trainees also of the Russians. Ooh, I must have them all. I probably would have thought were I a local woman in a sanctuary to exiles, because local men are ever so boring and predictable, drunkards. These African guys, do they really have horse dick-sized penises? Is it really true that they go at it all night long? Ouch, heaven. Do their skins really taste of chocolate? Do they have curly hair carpeting their bodies all over? Can they really kiss? You know, like normal people do? Do they really cry? Do they really pray to their gods and ancestors? Do they really play drums while at it? Do they really fuck like you see them dance on TV and on Cosmopolitan Concert Hall in Oslo? I imagine that I sure would want to sex them all. But certainly, no talk of long-term relationships, romance, things and babies. Absolutely no wife-husband stuff. Just bang, bang, bang. Far dimede. Over with it. No, don't bother to call. Never invite yourself to my place. Sorry, mate. This isn't about love. Exiles are nothing but a load of trouble as lovers, husbands and fathers, especially those who love their stupid lands of origin and are crazy over their own mothers and siblings. Not forgetting their wives and lovers left behind. Trouble, only trouble. Local woman in love, number one. But darling, you are being very unreasonable, you know. How can you expect me to invest in you wholeheartedly when one of the first things you said to me the very first day we met was that you were in Norway only temporarily? You made it clear to me that you were not interested in staying in Norway all your life, and that you'd return to South Africa at the earliest opportunity. I don't think it's wise to say such things to a Norwegian girl you fancy. Exile in love, number one. Dumbfounded and thinking to himself, this woman is really crazy. Doesn't she understand that I'll take her to South Africa with me? She's my woman, yes? Where I come from, men take their women with them wherever they go. That's what men do. She doesn't know that my mother will treat her like a princess. Local woman in love, number one. Please, darling, you are here. We are here now. You have established a strong network for yourself here. You are smart and you have a good job. Make Norway your permanent home, please. I would like to have many children with you, but my children will be born in Norway. You know very well that Norway is the best country in the world to have children in. Exile in love, number one. Dumbfounded and thinking to himself again, no children in that case. My mother must see her grandchildren being born and delivered in South Africa, land of their ancestors. That's just the way it is. Exile in love, number two. Extremely angry, verbally brutalizing his wonderful local wife. Now let me tell you, you slut of a woman, you're all sluts in this uncultured Western civilization, Christian capitalist country of yours, worshipping money above God. To the extent that you wouldn't want to convert to my religion. You don't want my children to practice my religion. And your uncultured family does not recognize my religion. You're all dirty bastards. Dirtier than the dirtiest of pigs. Get out of my house. Get out of my sight. You disgust me. The first thing about Exile in love, number two, is that, to begin with, he found his local woman in the house that he is throwing her out of. Secondly, he comes from one of those tragic regions of the world where people are fighting endless, obnoxiously brutal wars over territories that only exist in their own fantasies and local traditional stories. These special territories wouldn't even appear anywhere on an official world map. So in practice, this man had no original homeland in the same way that I would talk about my beloved South Africa. But in his head, he does indeed have a home to return to when its freedom finally comes along. 20 years later, war is still raging on in his fantasy homeland. As things normally go in wars, thousands upon thousands of poor people, women and children have been mercilessly murdered over the years, and more are still dying on a daily basis. Our Exile in Love number 2 got divorced a little over 10 years ago. It had to happen. The racial and religious arrogance as well as abuse that our local woman in Love number 2 was regularly subjected to over several years used to stupefy me beyond words. The last time I saw the Exile in Love number 2, he was unemployed and of no fixed abode. He was still dreaming of returning to his homeland, since indications were that freedom was not too far away by then. But the reality is that there is hardly any life, anything worth living for back there. The whole region is in ruins. There is no form of government, no civil order. It's all hunger, poverty, and misery. Hell on earth, literally. In retrospect, how do you tell a man in exile to forget about his unfinished stories and dreams from pre-existing exile days in his native land? How do you tell him to make amends, show humility and respect for his new homeland? How do you tell him that it's perhaps best to accept this new land and enjoy watching his children contribute to the remodeling and modernization of it, of their motherland? Men in exile are nothing but a load of trouble. My books are available on Amazon.com. In South Africa and Southern Africa, the books are available on loot.co.za. In Oslo, in Norway, you can order the books directly from me and I'll sign them. I am reachable through the normal social media platforms. I'm on Instagram, on Facebook, of course. I am on Twitter, I am in Instagram. My email address is simon@chilembo.com. And do check us out on Wednesday at 18 to 19 hours CET on our Diaspora Magic talk show on the platform of Inthemixstyle, media houses, internet and DAB radios, as well as Facebook live videos. Via DAB radio, we are reaching out to Oslo, Akershus, and Drammen. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next week on Wednesday on our program Diaspora Magic Talk Show at 18 to 19 hours. Once again, thank you.